of the BJP, joining us on the phone line. Shehzad, pictures speaking for themselves. That's the result of the raids that were carried out by the Enforcement Directorate yesterday.
Aam Aadmi Party has mastered the art of ABC, advertisement, bhrashtachar, and C for cover-up of corruption. And therefore, while they are claiming credit for kicking out their health minister in Punjab, in Delhi, the health minister who has become the Hawala and Hawalat minister is being protected. The question that we asked through the BJP and Rani ji had asked 10 pointed questions that A, Mr. Kejriwal, why are you defending this Desh ka Gaddar, this Bhrashtachari health minister of yours? 2, did you know about the Delhi High Court order of 2019 which has indicted Mr. Jain for these transactions of Hawala and money laundering? 3, it is the court that remanded Mr. Satyendar Jain for 10 days, but still you call it vendetta politics. 4, 200 bighas of land were purchased with this entire ill-gotten wealth and money through these shell companies in and around Delhi, around the unauthorized colonies which were regularized later. Mr. Kejriwal, did you know about this? 5, Mr. Kejriwal, is there a larger secret behind which you're protecting Mr. Satyendar Jain? Because maybe this corruption doesn't stop at his doorstep. That's why you're afraid to take action. Instead of answering these questions that were raised by Smriti Irani ji, you are seeing Kejriwal ji doing all kinds of diversion and deflection and deviation. Today the question must be asked that why is Mr. Kejriwal protecting this Bhrasht Mantri? They protected Jitendra Tomar also. They played the same victimhood card, and Mr. Jitendra Tomar was exposed in front of the whole world and they had to retract. So today the question is, has he read the Delhi High Court 2019 order which indicts Mr. Jain? Is that vindictive politics or is it doing vendetta politics? Mr. Kejriwal must answer, especially after the recoveries that have come to your channel. He must answer, why is he protecting Mr. Satyendar Jain?
Yes, absolutely. And when all this was happening, when Satyendra Jain's arrest took place, Shehzad Poonawalla, the Aam Aadmi Party, after calling it political vendetta, also spoke of and rather built a narrative around how next up is going to be Manish Sisodia. They said that this is just political witch hunt.
You see, जिसकी दाढ़ी में तिनका होता है वही चोर घबराता है. If there is nothing to hide, nothing to fear, and you have full faith in the constitutional institutions of this country, including the courts of law, you shouldn't fear anything. In fact, Mr. Jain's case has been on for such a long time. Can they show one relief that gotten from any court of law? They could have gone and challenged the ED attachment order of 4.81 crore rupees. They could have gone and challenged the remand order of the court. They could have gone and challenged the 2019 High Court order of the court where Mr. Jain has been indicted, but they have not got any relief from any court of law. So instead of acknowledging that yes, there is prima facie some evidence against this man, we must take action. Now they are trying to play a victimhood card. They are in constant victimhood mode because this is the most corrupt government. They deserve a gold medal for Ghotala. Not a Padma Bhushan, but a gold medal for Ghotala. The Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi has done so much corruption, whether it's the DJB scam, whether it is the bus scam, whether it is the scam involving their corporators like Geeta Rawat. To avoid and protect their brushed people, they play the victimhood card. Today the question is only one. Will they now sack Satyendar Jain? Mr. Kejriwal, who believes in advertising, must answer this in a non-advertising.
Shehzad, we're still waiting for a response from the Aam Aadmi Party after these pictures have surfaced after the raids that went on yesterday. But thank you for sharing that perspective. Going back to Bhavtosh. Bhavtosh, now the ED has made it clear that its probe is based on the CBI FIR. The CBI FIR also goes back to the IT report 2017, details of which Times Now had also broken out very recently. Take us through the timeline of this case and how this is only trouble mounting for Satyendra Jain after these recoveries have been made.
Well, Christine, the entire investigation started way back in 2012-2013 when the Income Tax Department had first time searched the residence of Satyendra Jain when he was not even in public life. And at that point of time, he was raided for amassing a lot of illegal wealth and use of shell companies. At that point of time, because he was not a government servant, then Income Tax Department had just started tabulating the use of Hawala channels. As soon as he joined public life and he became a government servant, then the focus was how he was using the shell companies to amass wealth, and also how this wealth was being subsequently used to purchase.
I'll come back to you. Let's quickly take in a Congress reaction. Alka Lamba joining us on the phone line. Ms. Lamba, what do you make of the recoveries that have been made by the Enforcement Directorate? Raids were conducted all through yesterday and crores that have been recovered from the premises of Satyendra Jain.
मुझे याद आ रहा है जब पंजाब चुनाव में मुख्यमंत्री थे चरणजीत सिंह चन्नी जी, उनके भतीजे के घर से, मुख्यमंत्री के घर से नहीं, भतीजे के घर से कैश बरामद हुआ था, तो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने ट्वीट किया था, बेईमान आदमी। अब अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ये आम आदमी है, देखिए इनके, जिनके घर से कितने किलो सोना और कैश मिल रहा है, वो भी उनके किसी रिश्तेदार के घर से नहीं, खुद आम आदमी पार्टी के स्वास्थ्य मंत्री सत्येंद्र जैन के घर पर ईडी रेड में मिलता है। अब पूछना चाहेंगे अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, क्या आप सत्येंद्र जैन को बेईमान आदमी लिखेंगे या आज भी उनके लिए पद्मश्री मांगेंगे? तो बेनकाब हो रहे हैं, अच्छी बात है। ईडी की रेड सच्ची थी झूठी थी, उस वो एक विवाद ये लोग करते रहे, लेकिन ये जो मिला है इस पे तो जवाब देना ही होगा कि सच में सत्येंद्र जैन एक गरीब और आम आदमी थे। जब उन्हें टिकट मिली, मंत्री बने पिछली सरकार, इस सरकार में भी। सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि राजदार है वो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के हर चीज के, इसलिए अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की मजबूरी है इनका बचाव करना। ये धर्मेंद्र जी हमारे जितेंद्र तोमर जी मंत्री थे, उनकी फर्जी डिग्री थी, कहा मैंने सारी डिग्री देख ली है, सच्ची है, दोषी पाए गए, मंत्री से हटे, जेल गए। आज कहते हैं सत्येंद्र जैन जी के सारे कागज देख लिए उन्होंने और अब घर भी देख लिया होना चाहिए था। आज जो पैसा मिला है, सोना और पैसा, देखिए, तो ये बेनकाब हो रहे हैं। बस अच्छी बात है कि जनता इनके धोखे में, मैं तो कह रही हूँ दिल्ली तो हमारी ठगी गई। पंजाब के हालात सबके सामने हैं। कल वो गुजरात में तिरंगा यात्रा कर रहे थे, जबकि पूरा पंजाब जल रहा है, वहां जाके करना चाहिए था। तो बात ये कि एक फर्जीवाड़ा, एक फर्जी राष्ट्रवाद और ईमानदारी का मुखौटा पहनकर ये पूरे दिल्ली के बाद देश को ठगने गए हैं और बेनकाब हो रहे हैं एक के बाद एक।
जी,
केजरीवाल को जवाब देना चाहिए।
आम आदमी पार्टी बार बार ये बोलती आई है कि पार्टी में करप्शन के लिए कोई जगह नहीं है। पंजाब में अगर एक्शन लिया जा सकता है आम आदमी पार्टी के नेता के अगेंस्ट, तो दिल्ली में क्यों नहीं?
ये वही तो हम कह रहे हैं, दो मापदंड क्यों पंजाब में और दिल्ली में। आपको पता है दिल्ली में 15 में सरकार बनती, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने पहले महीने में अपने ही मंत्री आसिम अहमद पर भ्रष्टाचार के आरोप लगाए, बाहर किया, सीबीआई को जांच सौंपी, क्लीन चिट मिली, लेकिन उनको पार्टी में नहीं लिया, उसका भविष्य बर्बाद कर दिया, क्योंकि एक अपने आप को साबित करने के लिए एक मंत्री की बकरा बना दिया गया पली का। पंजाब में भी वही हुआ, सरकार बनने के 1 महीने बाद ही अपने मंत्री को खुद छुड़वा दिया। ठीक है, ये सत्येंद्र जैन जिनके 8 साल से तलवार टंगी हुई थी और 8 साल से खामोश क्यों नहीं ईडी ने कार्रवाई की? हम तो ये कहते हैं बिल्कुल, क्योंकि आपको डरा डरा के आपको कार्रवाई होने से इसलिए बचाते रहे क्योंकि आप उन राज्यों में जाते रहे जहां कांग्रेस की सीधा लड़ाई भाजपा से थी, उन्हें हराते हुए दिख रहे थे। आप बी टीम में भाजपा की बीच में घुसती है, वोट बीजेपी के खिलाफ बांटती है, उन्हें जिताकर वापस लौट आती है। उत्तराखंड गोवा उदाहरण है, आप समझ रहे हैं? तो इनको बचाया जा रहा था, लेकिन कब तक कोई बचाएगा? अब मैं आपको दोबारा कहती हूँ, ईडी का नोटिस राहुल गांधी जी और सोनिया जी को भी आया हुआ है। हम डर नहीं रहे, हम पूरी जांच में सहयोग करेंगे। हम तो ये कह रहे हैं इस जांच को फास्ट ट्रैक में लाइए और 3 महीने में खत्म कर दीजिए।
काफी सवाल उठ रहे हैं अब फिर से आम आदमी पार्टी पे। अलका जी, थैंक यू फॉर स्पीकिंग टू अस। लेट मी गो अक्रॉस टू Ravi Srivastava also joining us on the phone line. Mr. Srivastava, this is going to be a tough question that the Aam Aadmi Party must answer. How are these recoveries made from the residence and premises of Satyendra Jain, properties linked to him? Because the Aam Aadmi Party said there is no link whatsoever to any sort of a money laundering case, hawala transaction. None of that happened under Satyendra Jain.
The matter is before the Honorable Court in Delhi, and whatever recoveries have been made can be well explained by Mr. Satyendar Jain, because there is nothing disproportionate, there is nothing unaccountable, there is nothing which has not been declared to the income tax authority. Satyendar Jain himself is a chartered accountant and he is a qualified person. He knows the consequences very well. Whatever recoveries are there is nothing to be worried about it. It is going to be all clean transaction, and he will be able to explain to the authorities that there is nothing illegal or irregular in it. So not to worry about it. I think his custody is ending day after tomorrow, and whatever is happening is purely, political vendetta, because they want to harass Satyendra Jain since he is an observer and in charge for the Himachal elections, which BJP is going to lose. So BJP is making this attempt to curb, to harass and humiliate and malign the image of the Aam Aadmi Party. That's their only attempt.
Ravi Srivastava, the Aam Aadmi Party has been calling it a political political vendetta. But, you know, if we go by the timeline of this particular case, it dates back to 2009-10. You have the Income Tax Department, the CBI, and now the Enforcement Directorate. So it's a multi-agency probe in that sense. How can all the agencies be building a false case?
If you are going to go on making a case after 12 years, I think the court also should set some time limit that how long can you probe and how long can you investigate. And they could not recover or they could not establish anything till date. It has become now 10 years, 8 years cases, and 8 years he has been summoned already 8 times before the authority. Still they could not find out in written. Whatever is there, it is declared, it is on record. And Satyendar Jain was not the working partner of those companies after 2013. He had already resigned from there. And whatever land you are saying has been purchased, the particular company's owners have given an affidavit in the court that we have purchased it. So there is nothing irregular in it. That is what I need to say, which it is being made out a case that this is a
all right, we'll get to know because an investigation is still on. His custody ends on the 9th, that is day after tomorrow. Thank you for sharing that perspective with us. Let me go across to Congress's Udit Jain also join. What do you make of this? Udit Raj, I beg your pardon. What do you make of this recovery, this big recovery that has been made from the premises of Satyendar Jain, his close aides, 2.82 crore cash, 133 gold coins, weighing 1.8 kilograms. That's what we are being told. So a big recovery in that sense at a time when Aam Aadmi Party is only alleging political vendetta.
See what happened, Aam Aadmi Party workers across the country are aid workers. From where this huge black money is coming from? See, in some modus operandi different, otherwise this is very, very corrupt party, and Mr. Arvind Kejriwal defended him. Now, it is evident, quite clearly evident that can he still defend him when unaccounted money is found, and Benami transaction and SAM transaction and black money laundering through cell companies all have been established beyond any reasonable doubt. Therefore, to claim that the party is honest and clean is absolutely false. They are very, very corrupt, and it has been established beyond any reasonable doubt.
Thank you, Mr. Udit Raj, for sharing that perspective with us. So yes, the Aam Aadmi Party all this while has been maintaining that this is all being done perhaps because Satyendar Jain was given the responsibility of Aam Aadmi Party's campaign as far as upcoming elections in Himachal Pradesh are concerned. But visuals speaking for themselves, that's the ED seizure on your screens, 2.8 crore cash that has been recovered from his premises along with his aides' premises. Raids were carried out all through yesterday. 133 gold coins have also been recovered. This also comes at a time when the Aam Aadmi Party has been claiming that this case is from 2009 to 10 when he wasn't a minister. But the Enforcement Directorate, as per sources, has been giving a rebuttal. They've been saying that the Hawala transactions took place in 2015-16 that amounted to 1.9 crore rupees and so on and so forth. Bhavtosh joining us with more details. Bhavtosh, as far as the latest probe by the ED is concerned in this money laundering case, what is it solely depending on as evidence against Satyendar Jain?
Well, what it has been shown, even his aides are involved in money laundering because a large amount of cash that has been seized clearly shows that people close to Satyendar Jain are involved in money laundering and that they were hoarding cash. And they were not only hoarding cash, but they were also hoarding gold and other precious metals. As I was telling you earlier, that the entire case started when Income Tax Department had raided and searched the premises of Satyendar Jain way back much before came into power in Delhi, and then subsequently when Income Tax Department started carrying out its investigation, they found out that employees close to Satyendar Jain had started, in fact, started giving out cash to Satyendar Jain.
All right, Bhavtosh, coming back to you in just a bit. Gaurav Bhatia of the BJP also joining us on the phone line. Mr. Bhatia, the BJP has been saying that, this case is based on facts. Aam Aadmi Party calling it a political vendetta time and again, saying that the BJP wants to take down Aam Aadmi Party ahead of Himachal Pradesh elections as he was made the head of the campaigning there. What would you say now?
I would say what every Indian would say, that the corrupt should not be spared. And Aam Aadmi Party is a corrupt party where a sitting minister is, being probed right now for corruption charges. And Arvind Kejriwal is shielding the corrupt. Today, Arvind Kejriwal should come out and answer the 10 questions posed by Smriti Irani ji and by the Bharatiya Janata Party. And this is not a case of political vendetta, because let me make it very clear that it is the Delhi court which gave 10-day remand of Satyendar Jain to the ED. The court decided not to interfere because there was merit in the charges that the ED was placing before the court. So this is not a case of political vendetta. Rather, this is a case of looting the country and not taking action and shielding the corrupt. Arvind Kejriwal should come out and respond, because people are asking these questions.
Yes, and didn't he admit in the High Court that he'd laundered 16 crore rupees in the petition in the High Court?
Absolutely. Satyendar Jain and his family have been abusing and misusing his position, and money that is meant for the welfare of the common people is being utilized for personal gains. And when they are caught, they take this feeble plea that it is a case of political vendetta. But Arvind Kejriwal ji should now tell everybody that कट्टर ईमानदार यही होता है क्या, जिसके घर से 3 करोड़ कैश पकड़ा जाता है, 133 जो है सोने के सिक्के पकड़े जाते हैं. ये कट्टर ईमानदारी है. एंड पद्म विभूषण देने की बात कर रहे थे. सो नाउ अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, आर यू स्टिल ऑफ द ओपिनियन दैट सच अ करप्ट मिनिस्टर should be conferred with Padma Vibhushan?
And, Gaurav Bhatia, there was another claim that was made by the Aam Aadmi Party that Satyendar Jain had resigned from all the firms that were linked to the money laundering cases. As far as sources in the Enforcement Directorate are concerned, they are very, very clear that all of those firms are still linked with either his close aides or his family members.
I would only say that this is a matter of investigation, and let us have faith in the investigating agency that is doing its job very well. I must commend the ED for doing this fabulous work and booking such a corrupt minister. And the courts of country will decide on, whether he is guilty or not. But as a political party, the Aam Aadmi Party, which said that they are crusaders against corruption, have become the most corrupt today, taking lead from the Congress party.
Thank you, Gaurav Bhatia, for speaking